nation with liberty and justice for all.
Take a motion to approve the agenda for the village.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Motion second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for April 14th.
I will second that.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we've had a chance to review the ambulance reports.
Yeah, I reviewed them actually last week, so. They're on their allowance
Okay.
schedule, so. Everything seems to be okay for now. We got a meeting on Thursday. EMS meeting, so. With the expenditures coming up with that new ambulance. It's on track maybe to be really close in September. Our tax money comes in September, right?
Yeah, usually September and March. I mean, there's
It-
sometimes August, you'll get some too.
It's gonna be nip and tuck, so. I'll see how this is gonna go.
Motion to approve claims for April 21st.
So moved.
I'll second. In the amount of,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
let me find that.
I got it here for you.
Okay.
Got it.
In the amount of $291,733.66.
Yep.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meetings attended.
I'm working on the tax incentive, proposal for us. Adam's working on it. I'm just kind of in the background poking at him. We should have something here in the next meeting or two. It will be on the home part only, residential side. According to him, apparently the county already has one for industrial and commercial. I'm gonna look that up and review it and see where we're at. So I haven't done that yet, but at the next meeting, I'll have a copy and we can look at it and see if we like it or we want to tweak it. The one thing that we do have to do with the home one, excuse me, we have to do a urban renewal plan for the county, kind of like we did with the city, which is no big deal. It just identifies the area in which we're doing the tax incentives. So be on the lookout for that. I was contacted by an individual, I can't remember the name of the organization now, about Narcan boxes. They want to put them up in the county. I don't particularly have a problem with it. I think she's gonna be contacting us. They've already done it in some other counties. I don't know if Des Moines County has it yet or not, but seems like to me you probably never be where you need it, but I said, if you want to do that, that's fine. I guess I don't have a problem with it, as long as it doesn't get raided and stolen, and I don't know how they're gonna control it, but hopefully she'll have some information on that.
Well, that's what I got that email too, but you actually talked to her then?
Yeah, she's gonna, I think, I sent the information to Susan. I would assume she's gonna get on our agenda and give us a presentation on it, so, I don't know, I have questions.
I think I've seen on the news where Iowa City has them, and I think they got them in their libraries up there, if I remember
I think
right.
she wants to use the opioid money for it. And I don't have a problem with it. It's just if somebody's ODing in their apartment uptown. But where's the closest box?
Yeah.
The other thing is do we have the authority? Because if it's in the city, do they need to be going to the city?
Good question. Yeah, I'm not gonna go put them out in the woods at the,
Exactly.
Virginia Grove, so.
I'm thinking she needs
And
to
I
get.
don't know how that's handled through the winter and the hot and the cold. Again, I have questions.
But
Yeah,
is
How
that
this is gonna work.
for her to talk to Leah too about maybe?
Well, I would think that it might be, instead of having these boxes, be able to give them to public health and let people go get them if they as a tow truck driver, I always felt like I wanted some in the tow trucks in case I came in contact with that stuff or I come across an officer that I could help. Short of that, I didn't really feel like I needed it. If you're an auto repair facility, you're in people's cars, you never know what you're coming in contact with. I think that's probably, so again, questions. So, we have Board of Health meeting. Oh, we had a Board of Health meeting. Is Leah on?
No,
Okay,
She's had a meeting.
okay. It was pretty much business as usual. We did approve I didn't bring my paperwork with me, I apologize. We did approve a grant application. Really just pretty much business as usual. And then like I told you, I had a EMS meeting coming up on Thursday. And yeah. Lots of other stuff, but that's in the report here, so.
I didn't have any meetings last week. We did get the other truck back from the repair shop. They could not find a used wiring harness, so they finally took some time and just rebuilt it themselves, and he thought it was gonna work, so we got it back anyway. So at least now we got a spare truck again. Basically it for last week.
Yeah, I didn't have any meetings this past week either. I got 2 more today and 2 more this week, but this is my busy week. So, okay. Public input for items on next week's agenda.
Not next week.
Or
Yeah.
2 weeks agenda. Public input for items to be on next meeting's agenda.
There you go.
I'll change that word.
So there's no meeting next,
Right,
But
that's gonna be hard to get used to.
well, you will have 3 in May,
Yeah, don't worry.
I'll probably,
We're gonna ease you into it.
yeah, because there's 4 in June.
Yeah.
probably have to talk and walk around before.
Yes, I miss you, but it's a good thing.
Okay, everybody's had a chance to look at the payroll changes. They were pretty much just step changes, so.
Yep.
Okay,
All right, I think,
oh, yeah, dental insurance. I think you guys have a copy of that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is Jerry.
There you go. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Sorry, I couldn't get my video to work. Hopefully, were you guys able to get the pack like what I emailed over? Do you have printed copies I could talk through?
Yeah, they
Available?
have it in front of you, in front of them.
Awesome. So I can still talk through it with everybody. So dental this time, now we got the medical all wrapped up. Dental, we do it a little later because we got to wait for principal to give us the renewals. I compared it to the ISAC Delta dental option for us. The probably the biggest advantage timing wise with ISAC is we would get the dental earlier. So when I come up and we talk about medical, we could just do everything all at the same time. We wouldn't have to keep waiting like this because we'd be part of their larger pool. The plans are different. And that's what I wanted to kind of show. And then the last thing I'll show is the cost when you're trying to make a decision on what to do. So if we start with the current plan, you'll see the one, it's principal, dental. If you look at that plan, there's a $25 deductible, and then you'll see 100% coverage for preventative. This is how much the insurance carrier would pay. So they pay everything, 80% for basic, 50% for major. A 2,000 max is the most they would spend on anything. There's no ortho on this plan, if you can look at that page 1. And then you'll see there's a TMJ benefit. This is pretty rare. Most policies don't have that. So I don't know how often it gets used, but there is a a TMJ benefit on your current plan. The other thing that I'm going to point out, if you look at the page 2 of 4 there on your current plan, you'll see where it says basic, preventative, basic, and major, and it has a whole bunch of examples to the right of that. You're going to notice several things are covered under basic and major that when we look at the ISAC plan will get moved up. So for example, like your root canal, if you look at your current plan, those endodontics are all major, and on your current plan, a major is a 50-50 split. So it costs one of the employees 50% to have that root canal done. Okay. When we compare that to the ISAC plan, so that's going to be that bigger sheet. I'm looking at the plan 3 and the plan 4 are the two that are most similar. Excuse me. So this has, if you look at the kind of the premier network on the right, this has the same 180/50 benefit that our current plan does, but you'll see several of the benefits, like if you find root canal, it's classified as major, but they still have major covered at 80/20. So they show it different where the principal says 100%, 80% covered. ISAC is showing how much the employees would have to pay. So the employee for a root canal under the ISAC plan would only have to pay 20% versus 50%. So the ISAC plan, as far as where things are covered, is more generous. The other thing you'll see at the bottom, and I know families have been asking this for a while, is they have orthodontia for children included as well as another win with the ISAC plan. The biggest negative on the ISAC plan is they do not have that TMJ benefit. So if we make a move during my meetings, I would be telling people, hey, if you need that procedure done, get it done before July because that benefit will be going away. So that's the biggest negative from the plan. The decision one is, do we want to move to ISAC instead of principal? But then which one of the two ISAC plans do we want to do? And you'll see the differences between plan 3 and plan 4 is the benefit amount. So the benefit amount on plan 3 is $1,500, which is a little lower than the $2,000 benefit you have today. Plans 4 benefit matches. So you'd have a $2,000 benefit. So then when you look at the cost, that's going to be that extra kind of Excel sheet that I put together. So at the top, you're going to see the current rates, $42 and $106. You see your enrollment, 21 single and 44 family. The county pays 85% of the single for both tiers, and the employees pay that difference. So at the top, you can see it costs the employee $6.36 a month. And then on the far right, you can see the total annual cost for the county for your current plan. Principal is asking for an increase. So you'll see if we stay with principal, those rates would go, you'd see it'd be about just shy of $2,000 for the county on the year. And you'd see the employee portion would go from $636 to $679, and family would go from $70 to $75 and change. Are you guys following me on the cost sheet? So then this is the big, we go to the ISAC. So I put both options. So if you do the $1,500 plan, then it costs the employee marginally more, costs the county about $1,000 more, and the family rate would go down quite a bit. If you do the $2,000 plan, you'd see that's the most expensive for the county slightly. Again, we're talking much lower dollars than we did during medical, obviously, but it would be a little bit of an increase. And then you'll look, both employee and family would go up slightly, which I kind of like from a messaging perspective, because if you do $1,500, you're telling singles are going up, but families are going down. If you did the 2,000 plan, both of them are going up. The singles going up a little bit higher than what the renewal would, and families are going down quite a bit.
So,
That's all assuming we keep doing the 85% cost split too. That's the other thing, is you could adjust the county portion. Like if you said lower the county to only pay what we would under the renewal, you know, like 38, I can adjust any of that, obviously, if you guys would like to.
so I have a question. On the assured partner sheet, it says the annual maximum is the one we're talking about is the 1,500 and the 2,000. That's not a deductible?
No, the deductible is small. The deductible is up above. If you look at, so with Delta, what's tricky is they have two different networks. They have a PPO network, which is a smaller network of dentists, and then Premier is their vast network where most dentists are in. So if you're in the Premier network, it's a $25 deductible, but that's waived for your preventative. So your cleanings and all that stuff is free. After that, you pay a $25 deductible. What that maximum is that's the most the carrier will pay in a year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Per person. So if you're a family, so let's say a root canal cost, or let's make it easy for my math. Let's say you're getting a bridge, which is 50-50 coverage, and let's say it's $1,000. Delta would pay $500. The person pays $500, and then that $500 counts towards that $1,500 bucks.
Okay.
And once you run out of $1,500, if you're following me,
Yeah.
today you have $2,000. Now, $2,000 is rarely touched. I mean, that's a lot of work, you know, to hit after the cost share to hit $2,000 in one calendar year. Not very many people statistically are hitting $2,000. Most plans you see are closer to $1,500. There's still a lot of them that still only have $1,000 benefit.
Okay.
Oh, a family plan, is that per person?
The family plan, that's what those people pay per month to cover, whether it's 2 people or 10 people. As big, any size of family, they pay that rate.
I just mean that 2,000 maximum, is that per person or is that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep,
Okay.
per person.
Okay.
Yep, per person. Yep, not collective. Yep. And like when you'll see on the rate sheet, I just have the one rate. When you look at the ISAC grid, they have 2. They have a 50-50 and a voluntary. We get to use the lower 50-50 rate because that's the rate as long as the county pays at least 50% of the premium, and we pay 85% of the premium. So that's why we get that lower rate. So when you look at the grid, you'll see the rates I have on there are matching the 50-50 rate because we're paying more than 50% of the cost. So from a family perspective, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. You pick up ortho and it's cheaper. So from the family, it's a win by moving for sure. The single, it depends. It'd be cheaper if you do the 1,500 and then lower the max. It'd be a little bit more expensive if you do the 2,000. But again, I can tell people it is a better plan because more things are covered under a better co-insurance. Like, hey, you're paying a little bit more single, but now a root canal is covered at 80% instead of 50, for example. You see what I mean? Like, so there is a better benefit even for the singles with that ISAC Delta plan. The only real major takeaway is that TMJ. If someone truly is using that benefit, ISAC doesn't have that covered.
I think full mouth x-ray was covered under ISAC, I believe too, and it's not under.
Great catch. Yep, ISAC, those would be free. They would, once every 5 years, they're in that preventative, where if you look at principal, the bite wing, your little bite wing ones are every year, but full mouth is basic. So you would have to pay 20% for the full mouth under your current plan. Great catch. Same with like sealants and space maintainers. Now those are more for kids, but in the ISAC plan, those are basic. Under your current plan, those are, under ISAC, they're preventative, covered at free. Under your current plan, those are basic. So there's quite a few procedures that get bumped up a category in favor of employees via the lower cost share on coinsurance.
So we're currently at 2,000, is that what you're saying?
Yes, yep, yep, yep.
I think it might behoove us to move it down to 1,500. I mean, if we're trying to keep costs in line. Yeah,
What if we went to a better plan and just pushed off more costs on the employee? You know, the premium. Well,
Yeah, you could do that. I could change, like where you see that 2,000 plan where the county's paying the 39.95. I could lower that to like 38.48 and say, hey, this is what you would have paid if we were renewed with principal. That would still,
I mean, it doesn't make
Might
any
change
sense to
that.
me if we're trying to save the county money and we're gonna go from 28 to 30 if we stay where we're at. But then
yep,
move to 31,000, I don't know if we're talking about money that. You see what I'm
yep.
saying?
I could, if I changed it to 38.48, which would match your renewal, so you'd be at that 30,014. That the family is still cheaper, so the family would be 73.52 instead of the 75.53. Your single would take a decent bump. Your single, instead of being 679, would be 852. Now it's a couple bucks a month. It's not like a huge dollar amount, especially when they divide it up by paycheck, and it's pre-taxed. So we're not talking a lot of dollars, but it's a bigger jump percentage. Or you could take the other one, go to the 1,500, which is pretty common. 2,000 is a little more rare. You could do the 1,500 and you see that line. Then everyone is below where you would be with principal, including the county, the single, and everyone kind of wins price-wise. And for most, it's still a better benefit because if you don't hit your max, you're still paying less when you have those procedures done.
Yeah, so everything's covered the same, it's just you got 500 less on your total max.
Yeah. And what a lot of dentists get creative too, what a lot of people will do is if you need that much, like let's say you need $2,000-3,000 worth of work, a lot of times they'll say like, can you wait to the end of the year? Like, it's not like a medical emergency. So you kind of wait and then you do like, let's say you need to pull a tooth and put in a crown. So you'll do like a lot of the pre-work in December, pull your tooth, get all that stuff done. If you see what I'm saying, burn through your 1,500. Then in January, when it resets, you come back and we'll do the rest. So in essence, you're getting a $3,000, or today you get $4,000. You see what I'm saying? So that's the advantage a lot of times with dental is it's not like medical or you can't control it. Like I have to do this. Like you can sometimes wait to maximize that benefit, if that makes sense.
What do you think?
I guess I'd be all right with going with the 1,500. What is the percentage of employees that are actually using it? Is it?
That's where the employee single is, 21 and.
Oh,
then
it's in
40%.
that's there, yeah, okay,
So there's quite a few. I thought the same thing, and that, well, maybe we don't have any singles, but we have quite a few. I mean, the impact on them is $1. Yeah, but it's not a huge deal. The impact is felt a bit more on the families, but actually it would go down.
Yeah.
The families are cheap. The families are the easy one. They're going down no
Yeah.
matter what you do. And they get ortho for their kids. So the families, in my opinion, you can't do anything wrong. Even if you went down to 1,500, in my opinion, hey, you're saving rates and you get ortho to trade to go from 2,000 to 1,500. I would take that deal every single time.
Well, the
It's the singles and the county budget that you
Right.
The single would go down. If you do 1,500, everyone wins except the people that are truly using an absolute ton of it. They're out $500, but the vast majority of people are not hitting $2,000. But that would be your quote unquote loser situation is someone that needs a significant amount of care and can't play that game that I talked about, by waiting till the end of the year. Otherwise, the 1,500 single goes down compared to renewal. They go up to current, but lower than what renewal would be. County's lower than what renewal would be.
Actually,
Family's substantially
family goes
lower.
down from where it's at now.
They do.
Substantially on
They
a
do.
renewal,
They do.
almost $10, well, $9.
Yep.
I don't know,
Yep. $4 a month.
they're winner to me, but
I can live with that one.
You're thinking the Delta demo
I mean,
on the 1,500?
yeah,
the other thing you could do is if you do 1,500 and there's a lot of noise, we can bump it up. It's easier to add it back in my opinion, than then take it back away. So if there's a lot of people that voice frustration that are hitting max, you can say, okay, we can look at bumping it up the following year.
yeah.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we'll go with the ISAC 1,500.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? ISAC 1,500, Jerry.
Awesome. So then I'll run with working with Susan and Liz and the team on getting all that finalized, and then we'll update those handbooks that we do and the enrollment systems for the meetings that are coming up. And
They're gonna wanna know what
I
the
can't
impact
remember.
is to them, so.
yeah, and then I go around. We do a handful of meetings every year, so I'll go around and be able to educate people on it, just like we do every year.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, Susan and Liz do a good job. They wrangle them up for me. They do a great job. We make a good team.
Thank you.
Hopefully she's smiling and not throwing a dart at me.
Well, you can't see her, so you never know.
I can't see her. That's why I hope she's agreeing with that. Hey, thanks guys. Really appreciate you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Right.
Okay, we have somebody online for item 10.
Yes, we have April, and then there's Brandy. Brandy is the one under ICTS. Yep, there they are. There's 1 and 2.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you have for us today?
Do you want to start, April?
She could, her mic's not on.
Oh.
She's muted. She's trying, I think.
Okay, we got it. So good morning. We're just here to talk about the CSN system. I'm filling in for Ted today. He had a lot of hearings that he had to attend to. So we're just discussing the $2,500 fee for CSN for the year, for Ted's note-taking system, basically. So a way for him to keep his data for Louisa County that is required to submit to the state each year. And I know that there's discussion with you guys previously that you weren't sure if you were going to keep going with CSN. But now we're just trying to figure out if this is a possibility for him to keep CSN because it's such a powerful tool for him to keep up with the magnitude of his caseload.
Why don't you give them a little bit of an update on? So, from my understanding, the county isn't required to do this. Of course, we're always looking for cost-saving measures where we're at. And I think we've, in the past, we've decided not to. but that puts an impact on you, on your part of the business, I guess, for lack of a better word. Explain, I guess, to the board, what this allows you to do. You know what I'm trying to say? Without it, what happens?
So this actually allows us to do a lot of things. So, well, let me bring up a paper so I can read better. I apologize.
Because this $2,500 doesn't impact us. It
Well,
impacts
it
you.
does. No, it impacts each county individually. So each county is required by Iowa code. I apologize for the phone going off, but each county is required by Iowa code to submit data to the state each year. So us advocates, we've been putting that data into a system and it's been automatically being submitted for you every year. But at the end of the day, you as a county, you're required to submit this data. So you're required to keep track of it, and you are the owner of this data. So it is, if we look at this, and I can send this over to Susan, but we have, oh, let's see, chapter 305 for mental health advocates. It says in here the county responsibilities. As the employer of the advocate, the county will provide qualified staff to support and facilitate oh, let me go to the data collection. I'm sorry. Susan, do you have a way to print this off if I sent this to you real quick?
Yeah.
I guess one of the question is, what changed? What changed from where we were last year to now that caused this
Absolutely.
issue?
Absolutely. So previously, we were a part of the region previously. Us advocates were the only portion of the region that did not go away. We were the only ones that stayed. So Des Moines County is our employer of record, but we have a 28E agreement for me and Ted to serve 8 different counties as the mental health advocate because our positions still remained, because our positions are technically we are appointed by each county's board of supervisors, and both Ted and I have been in these positions for about 10 years each. So when the region went away, the state still said you advocates remain, and you advocates still have this requirement to keep up the data for each county that you serve. And that's where we're at now. I believe that Ted would be on the same page that if Louisa County is already paying for a data system that meets the confidentiality, he'd be willing to use that to keep up with the county's data that needs submitted to the state. But we would need to know what system that is, and we'd need training on it.
So I guess what I'm hearing is the state made changes and now puts a requirement onto the county to be able to pay to allow you to access this. Would that be a correct statement?
But the money is not going to the state.
Right.
ISAC made the system, so you'd be paying ISAC to solve a problem that the state created.
Thank you.
And they're not necessarily saying that you have to choose
I
ISAC
understand
or
that.
the CSN system.
I understand that.
Correct.
Yeah. No, let
So
me see.
how did we report our data last year?
Through CSN. So the 10 years that Ted and I have been in this position, we've both used CSN. So all of our data that we've ever submitted, so all of our 7 years that we're required to keep on file is in CSN currently, which we can do an export of that data and put it in a new system, but it's going to be messy. And it's going to take hours to sort through, but it's doable at the end of the day.
ISAC is now charging when they weren't charging before. Is that correct?
We were charging, but the regions had graciously paid all the dues and let the counties use it for general assistance, advocate, veterans assistant, anybody in your county who wanted to use it, they would let you use it for free. When this, new behavioral health system came about in the legislature, the state said, well, we're going to take all the mental health services, but we're going to pluck these advocates out and put them over here for some reason. I don't know why they decided that. I wish I could answer that question. And then they pick and choose what they reimburse and what they don't reimburse on these advocates. And we had been contacted by a lot of the county level departments, such as general assistance, veterans assistance, some public health, and said, now that regions are going away, is there a way to keep CSN? And that's why we came up with this $2,500 fee. So people who are using it could still use it if the county opted in.
Isn't that great? The state all
But
about.
if you
making
opt
things
in,
easier.
if you opt in, it's for your entire county,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just April. So if you have public health general assistance, they can all use it for that flat $2,500 fee. And even if you have a department like conservation who doesn't do clients, we have a very big financial module that's already integrated with Tyler Solutions, all that ERP software. So anybody in your county can use it. It's just not limited to April and Ted.
So all our departments were using it last year then?
No,
No.
No.
only the advocates.
Oh,
Well, there was, for Louisa County, you guys also had general assistance using.
And yeah, GA and VA were using it until one of the users retired, I believe, and then whoever replaced them decided not to use it.
And Cindy said she's been using Excel. She wasn't using it because she knew it was going away.
That,
Cindy.
oh, but she was using it,
She was using it, yes.
and
Is that correct, Cindy?
would you use it again if it was there?
I didn't know if it was gonna stick around or not, and I had all of my narration for all of my clients that I had to capture, and I was worried I would lose it, so I switched over last year to a different program. It's a fabulous program, and it does, like, I don't have to upload to the state like the advocates do, and so I would advocate for it, but, yeah, I just got out because I just didn't know, like, I don't know what next year beholds, I don't know what, and I have a lot of things with my clients, so.
We appreciate you looking forward and looking ahead. Sometimes people wait till the last minute and that really makes problems.
Be a little worried with the whole behavioral health changes and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, and for the record, we would never give you like a couple months notice or something and be like, oh, by the way, it's going away. We would give you a full year's notice to say, okay, as of this time next year, whatever happens, if CSN was to go away, we would give you plenty of time because we do not want to put anybody in any kind of bind.
And Ted and I also discussed using Excel spreadsheets and if that was even an option for us. And with our confidentiality requirements with court commitment standards, we're not able to use just spreadsheets to keep up with all of our data and the magnitude of the records that we have to keep.
A lot of HIPAA things that they have to jump through, that I don't have to jump through it. For general assistance, it's just a different program than mental health advocates, so. Yeah, Brandy's done general assistance, she knows.
From the county standpoint, $2,500 in our budget isn't at the end of the world. It's more for me is the principle that the state makes changes without looking at the whole picture, just arbitrarily starts making changes that they think are gonna make better. And then the burden falls back onto us again, like it has in the past. And here we are. Yeah, they're saving money, but they just shifting the burden and more problems and more issues and.
You're not the only one that feels that way.
I wish Des Moines would honestly sit down and instead of just making a change, look at how this is gonna affect everything. And they just kind of look at the surface and they don't look deep enough. And it's aggravating. It really is.
We
Yeah.
do have choices that we're going to talk internally because I will say that when CSN was first created, it was for just mental health. And that was before Regions because we launched in 2010. And the main reason for CSN is the state complained that the data they were getting for their annual reports and warehouse reports were pretty much crap because everybody was using spreadsheets and stuff. So CSN got created to make this data better. HHS loved the data that was coming out of CSN because it was data validated. I can say that with the advocate reports today. We have an option to tell HHS, we're no longer going to automatically send this report and you are going to have to pay for access to offset the cost of the counties. We have that option. I haven't gone forward with that because I didn't want to affect the users like April and Ted. But on our side, we can make it very easy for the users. It just won't automatically be sent to the state, and the state would feel that, I would think, that because I do have a couple advocates that are not using CSN. The reports are due December 1st, and I was reported to that those advocates have not turned in those reports that were due December 1st and we're sitting in April. So the state's already feeling that part of it,
Well,
that they have to reach out. So we do have some options on that side that we could help alleviate, and maybe hopefully the state will feel the pain and then come back around to us and we
think
can
that-
charge them.
I think that's a great idea. If it's gonna be easy on them, they're not gonna feel the pain. I think you need
Correct.
to try to get your point across the most politically way possible. We don't want to make enemies here, but they need to understand that this is not easy.
Yes.
And I would be behind you 100% to make it harder on them.
Okay. I can take that to our
'Cause
board.
they
Our
certainly
board's
aren't
actually-
making it easier on us, I can tell you.
Yes, I agree. And we know that here at ISAC, but our board is meeting on Thursday and I will take that as feedback to the board.
Thank you. You can put my name on that too.
Too.
And it's Maine with an E. There you go. If we go back to CSN, would you change back or not? Would you stay where you're at
Just because it's a lot of work.
to
So,
do
like,
back?
I keep narration, I upload all my files, all of my general assistance applications, and it's just a lot of work to go back and
I
forth.
understand.
If I knew, like, when I started using it's a fabulous program, and when I was like worried it was going away, it was one of those things that I can't lose everything, and so I don't know about hopping back and forth. It's great also because you can, like, April is in so many counties, and, so you can use it across counties. Muscatine County was using it, and so I was able to talk to general assistants in Muscatine County if we have a client, like,
Yeah.
bouncing between counties, but yeah. Des Moines County does not use it, so I couldn't do it that way, but yeah. So it was just, I don't know. It was just a decision I had to make, and it was.
No, I
just-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you made the right decision at the time. Do we need to put this on the agenda? Do we need to make a motion? How do we want to do this?
Basically, it'd be a budget amendment for next year, so there's no motion that needs to be made. I just need approval to be able to pay the bill when it comes through.
I'm on board. Just make it tough on the state.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys Okay with
I
that?
mean, a motion for that, yeah, I guess.
You could make a motion if you want.
I
to.
think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to
To keep them.
do the $2,500 for the CSN program.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Other than reiterate, make it hard on.
Yeah, right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Holler if you need anything from us, okay? We're on your side.
Mr. Shutt.
What? I was wondering.
I think that's too.
The proposal, did you?
Yes.
have
ma'am.
Susan? Okay, okay. Yeah, I talked to a company out of Davenport who's done a lot of work for the city of Wapello, I believe, other towns in the area. This would be to go in and make an assessment of what there is in the jail.
I thought it was a pretty reasonable cost.
Yeah.
For what they're doing,
Yeah,
and we have to do it, so.
yeah. So the process, we probably take them, a month or so, and then would bring it back and discuss it.
If you want to move to number 12, I'll give you that motion to sign the contract. Yeah.
Okay. Second, for that.
Yeah. So
Okay,
How much is that?
it's $1,000 for up to 30, for up to 30 samples.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Thanks for your work on that.
Yep, no problem, no problem. So, other than that, we are, taking a break from rock hauling, off and on. We did bridge cleaning and intersection sweeping this past week. We're now moving into our patching crews, out patching holes and pavements and things like that. Probably take us a couple days here, and get back onto rock and kind of getting towards the end of that. We're about 78% of our haul, so.
So the state came through Wapello and patched the,
Yep.
it only took them 2 days to get through Wapello.
Yep, so. Fortunately, at least in our area, that they've got a lot of newer pavements that don't have to be patched
There
yet,
was some
so.
pretty good holes out there, 61.
Yeah.
Now there's bumps.
Sure. So, the things that are going on with the DOT, sounds like they're gonna get moving on some of the paving work in Louisa County over the next couple weeks. So at some point, they're gonna have to close H 22 to get that done. They're also gonna have to close 30th Street to do that tie-in as it comes back in. So it's a matter of which one of those weekends. They were gonna do H 22 first, but now they're talking about doing 30th first, so one of those roads is gonna have to be open and closed, so it's a matter of what they decide. I've been told by the inspector, though, that once a decision is made, that they will let us know. Other thing going on is our bridge. I got an email from the contractor on Friday morning, said, hey, we're gonna close it on Tuesday. So, I go through the motions and post everything to let the people know. I call them back a couple of hours later with a question. They're like, well, hold on here, we have a personnel issue. So I'm like, well, I went out and did all these things to try to keep the public informed.
Wow.
And he said, yeah, it's gonna be a week or two later. I'm like, do you know what exactly that means? The answer was not exactly. So, I have some contacts with, JBS in Oakville and some of the farmers there, and talked to JBS, and they've got 500,000 bushels of corn to move from Morning Sun to Oakville. And I said, well, you've got a bigger window to try to get that done. So I believe they're hauling as fast as they can. And doing the best we can to kind of be in touch with people here, so.
Are they gonna widen that from the new highway back to Newport on H 22?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be as wide as I 78 is, so they'll probably put, paved shoulders on it and all that, so. They're moving as much dirt as they can now,
I noticed there.
and then they'll close it, and hopefully, I think the window on closing 30th will be like a week or something. Week to 10 days or something like that, so. It's all gonna be unpleasant, but at the end of the deal, it'll be done, so. That'll be good. They talked about beginning mainline paving up by Minneapolis and working on our way, so. It is what it is, and
I noticed they got rock almost down to Wise County, so.
Yep. So,
There's not so many bars.
progress is happening, so. Other than that, staying busy in the office here, some things, so, yep. A whole lot else. you have a meeting at 10 o'clock, today. I can probably make it. Some things that'll pop up here, but can probably make it, so. Any questions from me? Public or any?
Across from Rust Beach, it looks like they're getting that ready to tie into 61. Is that gonna happen, or are they just, what's going on there?
So, that's the 30th Street, access, and that's where the new highway will tie in there. So I think they're gonna jump ahead and get that done
Okay.
and then go back, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that when they close each 22, 30th will be open,
I see.
so, you know. Lots of moving parts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw them bringing, this morning, they brought in 3 more, of those side dump trucks went by my
Yeah,
house earlier.
they're running up and down here too, so,
Are
yeah, so. All right, guys, well, thanks, and if you have any questions, let me know, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I will be in touch with you.
Okay.
Maybe get a copy of this and I'll send it to you. The contract.
Okay, yep, I'll be here.
Okay, item number 13, public hearing on zoning ordinance 110-4, which is accessory dwelling. Need a motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make the motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Roll call with Sean,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Kevin,
Yeah.
and auditor. Thank you.
Okay. You had any public input?
No, I have not.
Anybody here have any? This is the second reading. Do we need to have a motion on the second reading?
No, that'd be farther down. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing though,
No second.
since there's no one here.
Motion second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now I'll take a motion to approve second reading.
Like that motion.
I'll second. Motion second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we're setting a public hearing for budget amendments on May 12th. 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
Make a motion to set a public hearing for the budget amendment, May 12th at 8:30.
I will second that.
Thank you.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
This tidies up the year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Public,
All the departments have been notified and
Yep.
this is your final call.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, now, review and sign Nick Davis deputy resignation payout. In which we have 172 hours of vacation at a total of $6,087.53. 64 hours of accrued vacation. 2,258.56. And 378 hours of holiday comp. At $13,339.62 for a total of $21,685.71.
We've got to cap this. I've been saying this for the last 3 years. There has to be a cap put on this stuff.
What's the difference between vacation and accrued vacation?
They get their full vacation when their anniversary date is, so it's the accrued from their anniversary date to when.
So many days per month or week or whatever it is.
It's next year's vacation.
Yeah,
You're accruing it for next year. Well, I must have timed that pretty good to get 64 hours of accrued vacation.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
usually they all do that.
Yeah, I know.
That's the
Until the
plan.
day of their anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I need a motion to approve this.
I'll make the motion to approve the payout for Nick Davis.
No, this is nothing against Nick Davis, but the process in itself, I reluctantly give the second.
Motion and second, any further discussion?
Now he was our canine officer by the looks of it, that we own the dog gets moved to another officer. Looks like Deputy Ford, from what I can see.
That's what I saw.
And then they'll have to take that dog and him and send him off to school and get retrained again, so. Yeah, kind of stinks.
Okay, any further discussion? Not all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any information from other county employees? I don't see any. Don't see any. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are done.
John, why don't you have that put on the agenda then to discuss that cap?